You know the reason why some of us are broke? It's because we haven't given God anything to touch. We keep it all in our pocket. We give it to our slave owners. Nearly 73% of self-employed individuals like myself do not invest their money into retirement plans for long term. When you do your math, your personal math, are you on track to retire in a good place? The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulps theirs down. Do not be a fool.
Yo, you all know I'm all about financial freedom and building wealth, right? But let's be real. You need income to make that happen. That's why I've partnered with my friends at Careers to help you land your first job in tech in as little as 6 months. Now, when people hear the word tech, they often think coding, but tech is so much more than that. One of the best ways to break in is quality assurance, QA. You see, QA is a high demand field that offers great pay, job security, and career growth, all without a technical background. Absolutely no coding, no 4-year degree, just real opportunity. You see, with Careers, you'll get hands-on training from industry-leading instructors, real-world experience, and career coaching to perfect your resume. Plus, they'll even set you up with an internship to help you land a high-paying job, all 100% remote from your house. So listen, before we get back to today's show, I do not want you to wait. I want you to take control of your financial future today by signing up at anthonyoneal.com/QA. Again, that is anthonyoneal.com/QA, and start your journey to a lucrative career in tech from the comfort of your own home. Listen, this is beautiful. Go check them out.
I was having a conversation just the other day with one of my aunts, and we had a very vulnerable conversation. She is in her late 60s, going into her 70s. And she said, man, no one never taught me the basics about preparing for my age, for my season. She said, we hear it all the time, save for retirement. But if we're being honest, most people don't even know where to actually start. And it made me emotional to sit down with someone who I grew up with, someone who I love, someone who I thought had everything together. And she does. She's doing good, right? She's doing real good. But she was like, Anthony, I missed out on several things earlier on in life because no one was teaching the way that you're teaching. No one was teaching. She even said it. Dave Ramsey was teaching. And she was like, I just wish someone can just teach the basics, not how to invest $5,000 when I only had $200 to invest outside of investing. She was a school teacher. And so today's show is going to be a little emotional for me because that hit home. It hit home for me when I was having this conversation with my aunt. But it also hit home for me because I realize and I understand that so many people are living paycheck to paycheck, focusing on today without thinking much about tomorrow. Focusing on today, not solely because they don't really have the funds, but I think a lot of us, it's just because we just don't have the information on where to start and why it's important to start today. I hear this younger generation say, you know what, I'm young, I got time. No. The longer you wait to start investing, you lose out on the power of compound interest. You see, based on this latest data from the Federal Reserve's survey of consumer finances, the median retirement savings for U.S. households is only $87,000. Now, pause. I think oftentimes when I'm learning, this is why I'm just so happy that I'm a professor, because I have to understand, wait a minute, you're saying these words and people don't really understand, okay? I want to break down so y'all understand the difference, because I think a lot of you all watch other people, which I love, and I'm so cool with that. But I want y'all to understand the difference between median and also the difference in between average. So median means that 50% of people at 87,000, 50% of the people are making or have, right, a retirement savings below 87,000. But then the same 50% of the people have higher than 87,000. So 87,000 is the median. The average takes everyone in that survey, adds it all up, and divides it amongst everyone else in that survey. Then that gives you the average. Here's what I like about median, because it's right in the middle. So it lets us know where the middle is, right? So we got to compare this 87,000 of household retirement accounts to the 1.46 million Americans who say they need to retire comfortable. This is serious. Here's something that's even more concerning to me. 20% of adults aged 50 or older say they have nothing in retirement. So I want to go a little bit deeper in this intro, and I want to open your eyes a little wider and break down why today's show is so important, why I need you dialed in, why I'm so passionate about this message, and why I'm a little emotional about this thing. Because most financial advisors will say that you need bare minimum of 11 times your salary to retire comfortably. So with the median annual income in America is at $68,000. Again, I'm gonna remind you, median means that 50% of the people make less than 68,000, but then 50% of the people make more than 68,000. So this means that the average person, not the average, the median income of retirement needs to be $748,000 invested by retirement to maintain a comfortable lifestyle. Now, when I did this math, I was like, man, but that's still not really enough. Because if you're still in debt, which is why it's so important to get out of debt, if you're still in bondage, if you still have a high lifestyle, this means you can only live for 11 years without having to work. So even $748,000 is not a lot of money because it only gives you 11 years, which is why I believe I'm teaching to live below your means now. So that way you're debt free. You have no mortgage payment by the time you get to retirement age. You have little to no expenses going out, but your utility bills. You got to pay for a car. You got to pay for a house, etc. So now there's $748,000 today. It's really not going to be worth $748,000. It's probably going to be worth, we're going to talk about this here in a little bit, probably about like $400,000. But I do want to ask you this question up front. When you do your math, your personal math, are you on track to retire in a good place? Are you on track? Or are you not on track? And if not, I want to tell you up front that I do not want you to feel ashamed or feel defeated. But I need you to hear me on this. You need to start investing today. I need you to take your future serious. I am 40. And when I think of all the crap that I spent money on in my 20s, that I could have taken that money and invested that, do you know where I could be at today? Do you know how much crap I bought to impress women? Anthony ONeal, he's being vulnerable this year. Do you know how much stuff I bought to look good just so I can have intimacy with a woman? Do you know how much stuff I bought just so I could be cool and accepted by a group of guys to be popular? Because I thought if I was popular with them, it would get me a woman. Do you know how much stuff I bought, I paid money for just to blend in with culture and society? Do you know why I bought the 22-inch wheels on a 1987 Nissan Maxima that could not even go in reverse? Because I allowed, what's that MTV, Michelle, what's that show that was on MTV with cars? The MTV show for cars. Man, Pimp My Ride. I bought wheels because I saw it on Pimp My Ride, and everyone was liking it. Everyone was talking about it, so I went and bought the spinning wheels. I didn't even keep the car a year. I spent $1,000 in the early 2000s. No, those was $1,200. $1,200 on some spinning wheels that I could have invested, that I didn't need at the age of 19. And I could have invested that, and I could probably have about another $200,000 in my account right now. So today I am going to be breaking down the basics of retirement planning. What it is, how to get started, and how to maximize the options available to you and to your family. This topic is so important to me that I'm giving you a free PDF worksheet to help you take action and to help you start the process. So when you sit down with a financial advisor, you can go to that woman or go to that man, say, hey, listen, this is what I have started because of my E3 family, my E3 community led by AO. This PDF worksheet is called Retirement Planning Worksheet, a step-by-step guide to building your future. We're going to drop it inside of today's show notes. You can download it. It's 100% free. I think it's like 1 or 2 pages, but I wanted to make sure that when you get done with this, you got a check off list that you can check off, that you can go on ahead and make sure that you have a clear understanding. This is why it's important to be a part of the E3 community. This is why I am so passionate about getting to 1 million E3 family members, because we are going to make sure that we're building the basics. And once we get the basics, that we're building on top of that and we're building wealth. This is why I need you all to be a part of this family. As a matter of fact, check this out.
All right, family, before we get into the rest of today's show, listen, nearly 75% of you all are not subscribed to the channel. Listen to me again. 75% of you all are not a part of the E3 community. And we are literally just expanding in the areas of abundance, wellness, and freedom. And that is the main focus of this year. So listen, if you're loving some of the content, you may not watch me every single week, but if you could just hit that subscribe button and be a part of this family, there are some extra perks that comes from just subscribing. We're giving out discounts in the AO store. We're having events solely just for the community, and you will get an email with the discount code and the VIP code and all the special things that's going on. So please hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on podcast, and I promise you, it's going to be amazing. When we hit 1 million on YouTube, I'm giving away a luxury quality used vehicle to one of my E3 community members on July 1st of 2025. So listen, hit that subscribe button and let's get back to today's show. God bless.
Some of you are thinking, okay, hey, yo, I'm gonna join the community. I'm already a part of the community. Let's get to today's show. Where do I start? Well, how do I do this, AO? I'm tired of living the life that I have. I saw in your most recent show that 40%, nearly 50% of the people who are stressed and tired of the financial decisions that they've made over the last 12 months, we haven't done anything to change the future. Well, the reason why you haven't done anything because you haven't really set a vision, AKA a goal that you're gonna follow. You're just out here, just moving and going with the flow. You're out here allowing society and culture to tell you how to maneuver around in life. But it is time for you to ask yourself, how much money will I need to live comfortably after you retire? You got to think about your current expenses, your current desires, and how they might change in life. Will you need $1 million? Will you need $2 million? A specific number helps you focus. You got to understand your retirement lifestyle. When you get to that age to where you no longer have to exchange your time for money, your money is buying back your time. You got to understand, what is the lifestyle I want? Do you want to go from, a big old home because you had, your kids and maybe some in-laws in the house, where maybe you and your family can downsize into a nice luxury home, but doesn't require all this, lights and et cetera? Do you want to downsize and live a simple life? Do you want to travel the world? One of the things about me that I'm already writing down, that I'm not saying this is what my wife have to do. I'm saying that I pray that God aligns me with a woman that understands and that has the same vision as me. That, man, I want to travel the world. When we're kid free and we're no longer having to show up into the office to work, to exchange our time for money, that, man, we can go explore the world. I can go look at different cultures. I can take my wife and we experience different things. And it's not just with my wife, but, man, I want to still be able to take my kids. One of the goals that I have in my life that is on my retirement goal list, vision list, right, is that every single year I pay for my wife and our kids and their families to go on a trip. To go on a trip. Dave Ramsey, every year, he takes his family and their families on a trip. So if I have a son and a daughter, and let's say that my son and daughter has grandchildren, and let's say God blesses me to live to where my grandchildren now has kids, that me and my wife can once a year pay to take all of our kids out of the country somewhere. I got to include that in my retirement goals. I got to include that in the numbers of what will that cost? What is the lifestyle you envision that you will have? The lifestyle that you envision, it will determine how much money you need to save. So we do that by running the numbers. You can do this by going to my website, anthonyoneal.com/wealth collector, wealth builder. Or just go to anthonyoneal.com and click on the wealth calculator on my website. You're going to plug in your age. You're going to plug in your income. You're going to plug in how much money you already have invested. You're going to plug in how much money you can invest a month. And you're also going to plug in the interest rate. I automatically calculated at 10%. I'm gonna go back sometime this year and just look at what are the actual numbers over the last 20, 30 years, and then I'm gonna update it if it needs to be updated. Some will say 12%, some will even go down to maybe 7 or 8%. I'm right in the middle at 10%, right? And so you can see exactly there. But you also have to factor in inflation, all right? The cost of living rises over time. What seems like enough today won't stretch as far in 20 to 30 years. So you got to adjust your investment goals to account for inflation. So inflation goes up about 2 to 3%, 2 to 3% every single year. And you're going to see this on a PDF that you're going to download by clicking inside of today's show notes, right? So it goes up 2 to 3%. We're seeing right about 3% on average year. So in the next 30 years, what is $50,000 today is going to cost $90,000. So our money is not going to be worth it. This is why I say it's so important to make sure that as you're allowing your money to sit in a savings account for your emergency fund, that you need to have it inside of a high yield savings account. Because if inflation is going up 3%, but SoFi is giving you 4%, 3.8%, that means that you're beating inflation. That if you have money invested into a mutual fund, which we're about to get there, and you're getting 10% every year, but inflation is going up by 3%, your money is beating inflation. So your money is going to grow with inflation. This is why I'm saying we got to live below our means so we can use our margin to invest into the future. So now our future is stamped, approved, and good to go when we get there, because we're thinking about tomorrow. Some of the biggest headaches that I see in 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, and 80-year-olds, they weren't thinking about today because they were only concerned about yesterday. This is why I say we have to work backwards. You got to start with your target number, 5 million, right? And calculate how much you need to save monthly to reach that 5 million. And you have to automate your contributions so you can stay consistent, and not just stay consistent. Watch this. You have to make sure that you're also keeping up with inflation. Now, I do not want you all to do all this on your own. The truth of the fact is, I am not a financial advisor. My advice, it's just my thoughts, my opinion from me doing studying, from me doing reading, from me being in school, but I do not know your actual situation. So the best advice you can get is advice with your current situation, which is why you need to see a financial advisor. Do not be afraid to consult with a financial advisor or a financial planner, right? Because an advisor is going to help you invest a whole lot more. A planner is going to give you a plan on how to invest, because you have to create a realistic plan that's tailored to your specific situation, not general information to everybody, right? The information that I'm giving is information to help you jog your memory, jog your thoughts, help you go do some more research, help you to consider what's the right advisor, what's the right planner, what's the right accounts I should be looking in. But you need to talk to someone specific about your situation, because someone making $55,000 is going to be different from someone making $125,000 a year. So I want to break down some of the most common types of investment plans that you should be investing in. Listen, you should not be investing into cryptocurrency if you don't have these plans. Listen, you should not be investing into whole life insurance policies if you do not have this plan. Listen to me. You should not be investing into all these Bitcoins, all these coins, all these memes, all these WebEx accounts, all these Forex accounts, all these things if you do not have these things and you do not maximize. Remember, I told you all, I talk about it inside of my latest book. Take your seat at the table. Taking your seat at the table is about building a foundation that you can build on top of. You need a solid foundation that your side walls, your walls can stand up on, that your roof can stand up on. But the most important part about your life is the foundation that you build. And when it comes to your finances, I'm going to give you the basic accounts that you have to have and that you got to be maximizing on. And the very first one, y'all hear me talk about it all the time. This is your 401k, whether that's a Roth 401k or a traditional 401k from your employer sponsored plan. Now, I want to break this down like it is the cookie jar on the very bottom shelf to make sure that I don't miss nobody watching this show. So, Anthony, what is a 401k? It is simply a retirement account where you can contribute a percentage of your paycheck before taxes are even taken out for a traditional plan, or you can contribute to the Roth 401k after taxes are taken out and before you get the check. So both of them, Roth simply means before you got the check, they already taxed that money. Traditional means before you got the check, they did not tax that money. So if you're putting in 5% of your check, they didn't tax 5% of your check. If you put into a Roth, they taxed 5% so it can grow tax-free, right? Now, employer match, many companies offer an employer match. Always contribute enough to get that full match. I match 5% of my staff that participates inside the program. I encourage you to take advantage of that. Invest, use it. Now for 2025, the limits, here are the limits, is $22,500 annually if you're under 50. But if you're over 50, you get a $7,500 bump to $30,000. Now, a lot of y'all saying, Anthony, I can't invest on $22,500 inside of no 401k. I understand you. I understand you. This is why you're a part of E3 family. This is why I want you to subscribe, because I want to get you to the point to where you can max out your 401k. I want to get you to the point to where you are maximizing every opportunity that we're going to go over today. Because here's the truth when it comes to the growth potential. Your money grows tax deferred, meaning you'll pay taxes when you withdraw it in retirement age. But the reason why I love Roth is because let's say if you're making $40,000 a day, but then by the time you get to retirement age, you're retiring at making $100,000. Well, that's two different tax brackets. So I'd rather put my money into a Roth 401k, pay taxes at a $40,000 tax bracket rather than paying taxes at a $100,000 tax bracket, because that's going to mean more money. But here's where I see a lot of people mess up at when it comes to their 401ks. They get into a bind because they're not out of debt, because they're not budgeting, because they're not living below their means, and they withdraw from their 401k. And I want you to avoid early withdrawals, because when you do that, it comes with penalties and it comes with taxes. And here's so funny. Why are you paying penalties and taxes on your money? So you're only robbing from yourself. You're not hurting the company that's giving you the money. It's your money. So I got to pay penalties and taxes to that company for borrowing my money, for taking out my own money that I worked hard for. This is why I say, I'm very big on this. Don't invest past the match when you're in debt. I want you to get out of debt to make sure that once you start investing, you don't have to withdraw anything. You can continue to see that thing grow. You can't. Now, I know earlier I said that, don't invest to a whole life insurance policy. Because what I'm seeing people do now is do a whole life insurance policy for the financial benefits on today. No, what I want you to do, what everybody should be doing, specifically within the African American Black community, we all should be investing into term life insurance policy at any stage that we're in, whether that's we're in debt, whether that's we're drowning in debt, whether that is we are debt free and we're investing. No, term life insurance policy is one of the best ways you can cover your families at a time of, and I hate to say it like this, but in the time of when you transition home to be with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. As a matter of fact, check this out real quick.
Here is the truth. I am always looking for practical ways to help you build, right, wealth, specifically generational wealth and legacy. And one of the best ways you can do that is with life insurance. That's why I partner with my friends at Ethos. They made buying life insurance simple and hassle-free. Whether you are the main provider for your family or want to make sure your loved ones aren't left with financial burdens like debt, life insurance is a powerful way to provide financial security. As a business owner and a homeowner, I took this seriously and secured a $2 million life insurance policy through Ethos. Why? Because having a peace of mind, knowing my family will be cared for when I'm no longer here, is extremely priceless. What I love about Ethos is their quick and straightforward process. You can apply entirely online in as little as 10 minutes. I'm not even exaggerating. I did it myself. Listen, no medical exams, just a few health questions that you must answer honestly. Plus, it's affordable, making it easier to protect your family without breaking the bank. Listen, I want you to lock in your rate today by visiting AnthonyONeal.com/life insurance or click the link below to get your personalized free quote today. Listen, as we're getting back to this show, I want you to protect your loved ones. Don't play around with it. Be like me. I promise you. It's a hard conversation to have, but you will sleep peacefully knowing that you took care of your family. Go to AnthonyONeal.com/life insurance. Let's get back to the show to help you keep building this wealth.
But here's number two. Get that insurance policy. Check out my friends over at Ethos, right? But everyone should have a 403B if you're inside of the public service professionals. So these are going to be your nonprofit organizations, your churches, your school organizations, right? Think of it like a cousin to the 401k. Tax benefits are just like the 401k with tax-deferred growth and contributions. Now, the contributions limit in 2025 is the exact same as a 401k. Now, the catch-up contributions, if you're 50 or older, you can contribute extra annually. Now, here is a huge tip. I want you to check with your HR to see if a 403B or a 457 plan might work better for you. It's another great option for public service employees. Now, 403B has its own plans. 457 has those plans. And let me give you a quick overview of a 457. So a 457 plan is a type of tax advantage employer-sponsored retirement plan, especially designed for employees of state and local governments, as well as some nonprofit organizations. It's similar to a 401k or a 403B plan, but has a few unique features, right? So some 457 plans offer a special last 3 years. We call this like a catch-up provision, allowing even higher contributions for workers close to retirement and with withdrawal, honestly, flexibility. So what I suggest to everyone, because these are always changing every single year, is to check with your HR department. Have an honest conversation with them. Hey, can you help me understand exactly all the benefits that come with a 457? And some of them I am noticing they're offering a 403B and a 457. So I will go look at either or and see what perks your company offers with both. Because for some companies, a 403B is better, but then for some companies, a 457 is honestly better. But gotta have that conversation. Here's the number three basic account everyone needs to have, and this is a IRA, right? So this is either going to be a Roth IRA. I'm gonna start there. A Roth IRA, which is called a tax-free growth method investment account, right? So here's the basic understanding of what a Roth IRA is. It's a retirement account where contributions are made with after-tax dollars and qualified withdrawals are tax-free. Well, the contribution limit in 2025 is $7,000 per year if you're under 50. Now, if you're over 50, you only get an extra $1,000. You get to contribute $8,000. Now, here are the income limits. If you earn over $153,000, so if you earn $153,001, you or $228,000 married filing jointly, your ability to contribute is not there. You can't do it. So you got to make $152,000 or less to contribute to this. Actually, it's $152,999. All right. Or if you're married or joint, filing as joint, $227,999. All right. Now, let's talk about some of the flexibility with these accounts. You can withdraw your contributions, not earnings, at any time without penalties. Now, here's a tip that I want to tell you all. Don't withdraw any money. Don't do it. The government recently passed that, within these accounts, you can take money out if you're buying a home for the first time and to help you avoid bankruptcy, right? With no penalties, no interest fees, right? But I'm telling you right now, don't. Because this is one of the best options for younger folks or for anybody who's expecting to be in a higher tax bracket during retirement time. Use the power of compound interest, which takes me to number 4, a traditional IRA. And this is going to be for the pre-tax as well, pre-tax advantage. Now, what's a traditional IRA? Contributions are tax deductible in the year they're made, but you'll pay taxes on them when you go to withdraw. So for example, if you get your paycheck for $1,000 and you take $100 and you put it inside of a traditional 401k, you can write off the $100. But when you go to withdraw it at retirement time, you're going to pay taxes on that money because that is tax-free money that gained compound interest. So you have to pay taxes on that money. This is why I suggest everyone, if you open up a traditional IRA, to backdoor it into a Roth IRA, pay the taxes on the money that you contribute, the money that you got from that per point, so that way your money can grow and you're not paying interest on that when you grow it. When you go to take it out. But the traditional IRA is best for people in higher tax brackets now who expect to be maybe in a lower tax bracket, or it's best for people like myself who may make above $153,000, but I'll get with a financial advisor and backdoor it into an IRA. And I'll do another show on how to backdoor it. All right. So the required minimum distributions, RMDs, you must start withdrawing funds by the age of 73 years old. All right. So for 2025, it's the same as the Roth. You can contribute up to $7,000 if you are below a certain age, $8,000 depending on your age if you're above 50. All right. So if you're self-employed or have a side hustle, I want you to look into a SEP IRA because that's where I'm at. And I want to give you a quick overview of a SEP IRA. SEP IRA. A simplified employee pension, SEP, IRA is a retirement account primarily designed for self-employed individuals like myself and small business owners to save and invest for their retirement. Because here's the truth. I was reading a stat just the other day. I think nearly 73% of self-employed individuals like myself do not invest their money into retirement plans for long term. We tend to spend a lot of our money on living and put a lot of our money back into the business. But here's what I love about the SEP. Contributions are tax deductible for the employer or self-employed individuals, and funds grow tax deferred until we withdraw it for retirement. So I'm able to write off the money that I put into that account because it's growing like a traditional, but we can do some creative things to make sure that we're limiting how much money we're putting in there, but also to make sure that, hey, I got some money when I get done with my business in 20, 30 years. How old I'll be? In 20 years, I'm 60. In 30 years, I'm 70. You all have been listening to me. I don't think I'm ever going to get to the point to where I'm going to stop doing what I love to do. But no, I may transition. And maybe if this company is still doing well around them and with how I'm envisioning my company in the next 20 years, it's going to for sure be there because of how I'm shifting in 2025, how I'm repositioning certain things for my company. To where hopefully I have a relative or I have an employee that's rock with me and that he or she can take it over. But how you all going to be seeing things and saying, okay, I see what Anthony's doing. He's backing a little bit up in this area, but he's going hard over here. He's diversifying his company and not just narrowing himself to just one specific lane. I'm making sure, and y'all can see it if you haven't really paid attention no more. I'm getting into academia. I'm getting into church consulting. I'm getting into staying into the YouTube space. I'm getting into speaking. I'm getting more into writing books. You see what I'm saying? I'm making sure that I'm not having to make sure that I have to do this for the rest of my life, but I'm positioning myself to make sure that I have all the stuff working for me. That so that not only do I have my SEP account, my IRAs, my mutual funds, etc., that I got other resources. But I want to end the show with a bonus, and I talk about this all the time. And it's everybody has to have a high yield savings account. Why is this not a retirement plan? Because an HYSA is a crucial short-term goals that comes with a little bit of short-term benefits. So while long-term retirement accounts give you double the interest, like 10 to 12%, heck, in 2023, we saw a 23% return. With a high yield savings account, if you want to purchase a home, if you know you want to purchase a car, if you know you want to go on a nice vacation this year, this summer, why not get an extra $100 to $1,000 put inside your account for your money just sitting there? This account is so important because it keeps your emergency fund and it keeps your savings for whatever you want to save for liquid while earning more traditional savings. While earning more than traditional savings. Here's how a HYSA works. Typically, it's going to be right around 4%, but we are saying because interest rates are going down, so are the interest rates for putting your money inside of HYSA. So right now, my friends over at SoFi is offering 3.8%, which is still one of the highest out there, and they're giving you $300, right? And so this 3.8% APY in many cases is much better than letting your money sit inside a regular account to where your regular savings account is giving you like 0.03 or 0.04%. So why not get $40 rather than $4 cents? Anthony, $40 is not a lot of money. $40 is way better than 4 cents. I remember looking at my account one day, in my savings account, and it's like, oh, you've been paying interest. We gave you 3 cents for letting your money sit there. I was like, 3 cents? That ain't nothing. I don't even feel that. What is 3 cents? But I remember the first time I allowed my money to sit inside of a high yield savings account all year long. And that year was one of my best years that I've saved, right? I think I made right around like an extra $1,000 for my money just sitting there. But now on average, I'm seeing about $7,000 to $10,000 for money just sitting inside of a savings account because I don't touch it, right? And just because that money's making money, I'm gonna let it sit right there to make more money. Let it just compound day after day, month after month, year after year. And if I have an emergency that I have to go inside that savings account, then I'm gonna go there. But and we're over by 5 minutes. Lord Jesus, oh, help me, Lord. I don't know if we'll ever get to these 30-minute shows, but we'll get there. I don't go to my savings account if I have the money inside my checking account. If I have the money inside of my checking account, and that money in my checking account is not already allotted, because within my budget, I do budget for miscellaneous items. So let's say for miscellaneous items, I have $1,000 extra, or for some people, you may have an extra $100 just for miscellaneous. Well, if you have an expense that comes up for $50, don't go to your savings account. Don't pull from something that you're gaining interest from. You are not gaining any interest from your checking account. Go ahead and pull the money from there. Pay that bill, pay that unexpected expense, and let that money sit there. And then I know one of my friends, one of the things that I do, and my friend does this as well, is that because I am single and because I do want to date, right? What I tend to do is I don't spend money from my checking account inside of for the dates. What I'll do is, like, if I made an extra $200-300 last month on my high yield savings account, I will take it from there. That's my way of paying for fun. I'm allowing my money to finance some of my expenses, some of my liabilities, right? And so I'm not using my hard-earned money that I exchanged my time for to pay for dating. No. I'm going to use what my money made, which means that because I'm not dating a whole lot, my money tends to sit there, right? So the good thing about a high-yield savings account is that your funds are accessible when you need them for unexpected expenses. My tip when it comes to the best bank is SoFi. Very competitive interest rates, a super easy platform to use, and they're going to make sure that you're taken care of and you have instant access to your money. We're going to drop the information. It should be up here on the screen. And we're going to drop the information inside of the show notes because we just love SoFi. Love y'all, SoFi. As I'm ending today's show, man, I want to end with Proverbs 21, verse 20. The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulps theirs down. Do not be a fool. Don't be a fool. I was trying to remember this quote that my boy Justin gave me. He said something like, if a fool does something, he's a fool. Oh! Yeah, that doesn't really apply. It doesn't really apply to this. Yeah, I was like, fools. But he says, here's no. I like it though. I can say it on this show. He said, if you pay full price for something, you're the fool. I technically agree with that. If you pay full price for something, if you go and you have the power to negotiate, but because you have the money, you don't try to negotiate, you are the fool. Because fools, what? Gulps theirs down, AKA fools spend what it is. Thomas Edison also said, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Listen, I know a lot of us, if I'm being vulnerable, have given up. We've given up financially. Man, I'll never be able to make $1 million. I may never be able to experience these things. And then on the flip side, a lot of us are super spiritual. Oh, God is going to answer all of my prayers, and God's going to miraculously pay off my student loans, pay off my debt, give me $1 million. And I want to bring both sides to the middle and say that we're going to pray like it all depends on God, but that we're going to work like it all depends on us. We're going to work Like, you know what? When I turn 70 and 80, I'm going to work my hardest. I'm going to work my hardest. And I'm going to put money into savings. I'm going to get out of debt. I'm going to save a little bit more. And while I'm working, God, I need you to touch the stock market. God, I need you to touch the mutual fund. If you want to send us 20% every single year, miraculously, God, touch that account. We got to give. Ooh. You know, the reason why some of us are broke is because we haven't given God anything to touch. We keep it all in our pocket. We give it to our slave owners. So when we come home, we have leftovers. So now we gotta pay, you know, we gotta pay for the school that our kids are going to. Like, we haven't put anything aside for God to touch. We're not tithing. We're not giving him offerings, so he can't touch it and bless us. We're not putting things inside of our retirement accounts, inside our investment accounts. We're not making investments, so God can't touch it. But we're expecting God to touch something. What is he touching? Nothing. So we don't get nothing. Oh my gosh. And I just heard the Holy Spirit say, give me something to touch and I will show you what I can do with it, not you. And we think we know what's best to do with our money. And God is saying, I can give you the wisdom and knowledge to do it, but I need you to give me something to touch. And if I touch it, it's going to be more, it's going to be better than what you can do with it. Let's give God something to touch as I close. I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm going to the crib. I got to teach my lesson to my kids in 45 minutes. Give God something to touch. Put money into that account. Put money into all these accounts that I gave you. And watch this. I'm going to say this, and some of y'all may not like it, but take your behind the church this weekend and put something inside that tithe and offering buckets. I guarantee you, I want to triple dog dare you. Try God. Stop trying him. Try God. Put money. Give God the 10%. Just try him one time. Just try him. Give God something to touch. I don't know where that came from. It's not on my notes. It's not on my head. I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry. But whenever I try God, did I get the answer back today or tomorrow? No, but whenever I started just trying God, I never stopped trying him. You know why? Because he kept proving to me who he is and what he can do. And he kept showing me, yo, I can do way more with your money, way more with your resources. I can put way more into your head if you just trust me. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony ONeal. Get a copy of Take Your Seat at the Table. I'm going to see you in the next show. Peace out.